Hey guys, and welcome to this great video series that we're doing that features at least 3 of our Flat Spotter members. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this series and we're going to take all the submissions that come into our website, and we are going to compile and do a mini car show, because I know a lot of us are climbing the walls and it doesn't look like this show season for this year is going to get any better. So we wanted to put together this series to kind of not only show off some of our great members and their projects, but also give inspiration to our current members and our members to come and our members on YouTube, and hopefully give you guys some ideas and some inspiration to get out into the garage and start getting that project going. So without further ado, I'm going to start with our first submission, which comes from Aaron Dominguez and his 29 Ford.
Hey everybody, this is my 1929 Model A Ford Coupe. It's an AV8. It's got a 1950 Mercury 8cm motor in it, ISKI cam, dual 97s. I'll show you that in a few minutes. Chassis engineering, 4-inch dropped front end on it with Ford F1 brakes and steering box. 1939 front wishbones that I shortened, welded back up, made it fit. The stock Model A frame that I Z'd in the back, the frame width, which is about 4 inches or so. 1939 rear end with the 1939 radius rods that I shortened, made fit. 1939 brakes on the back. I modified the 1939 banjo axle by putting the Model A shackle mounts, welded and bolted those on, and used the Model A spring over in the back. Let's see, I used a new aftermarket Model T tank in the back there for the fuel tank. It's all original Henry Ford steel. I replaced the vinyl top, did all the work on this car myself. When I first got the car, the original Model A seat that somebody had upholstered at some point. When I got the car, it had the seat and the door panels. I matched it, the rest of the interior, built all the interior. I sewed up and installed my headliner. It's got a 32 Brookville dash for a Model A. I made the gauge insert. Has a Stuart Warner, the newer Stuart Warner wings package in there. 40 Ford steering wheel, 1939 transmission, Model A parking brake, 39 Ford gas pedal, 39 Ford brake and clutch pedals. 50 Merc has the original 8cm heads on it, Edmunds original intake manifold, polished up, 2 new Stromberg 97s. I went with the MSD electronic ignition, it works really well. The stock generator changed over to 12 volt. I'm running a PCV valve on here, which helps. I don't have the downdraft tube. Made a special mount to run a mechanical fan. You can see it. Special mount to run the mechanical fan, which is really hard because the 29 is so low in the front, the fan wanted to hit the top of the radiator. So let me start it up and get some idling for you. Has an ISKI cam in it, 1007B cam, and electric fuel pump, and runs really good, really strong. Got 667 miles on it now since I built it. I built the car all myself, and I've been driving it, having a lot of fun, and I love the flathead. It gets a lot of attention. People like seeing it. And you can watch the whole build on my YouTube channel. Just search Aaron's AV8 Coupe build, and the build is there from start to finish.
Wow, Aaron, that is a really, really cool coupe. And it definitely gave me some ideas for some of the stuff that I want to do on my particular project. Hope that kind of helped some of our members out there. Our next video actually comes from Jeff Miller. Jeff Miller has a 33 Cabriolet with an absolutely gorgeous flathead. You guys have got to check this out.
My 1933 Ford Cabriolet project. Walk around, as you asked for. As all of these, the floor was rotted. Paid no attention to the filthy garage. About the bottom 6 inches of it were completely rotted away. So found a replacement floor, did all the patch panel work, still a functional rumble. Chassis is all done. Beautiful fanny frame underneath, exhaust, everything's beautiful underneath, just got to finish the top. And this is a Cabriolet, not a Roadster, not a coupe. Nice stuff. But the piece you want to see, ta-da! I'm thinking in 1951, I don't know what year exactly, but it is an 8RT. 3 Stromberg 97s, Elbrock intake, Offenhauser heads, board 10 over, vintage Mallory distributor that I gutted and put electronic ignition in. That's a piece of jewelry right there. Enjoy.
Man, I've watched that video probably about 3 or 4 times, and every time I'm like, wow, wiping my mouth drooling over that flathead. That is a really, really nice project, and thank you for sending it in, Jeff. Our next video comes from sort of a rising star in our group, Zach Park, who runs Wired Customs, and he did a great project where he basically shows his project and his donor car, maybe, could be a project, that'll get completed. We'll actually kind of check out his video and see.
Hey, what's up, the Flat Spot? This is Zach with Wired Customs, and today I'm going to show you around the personal side of my shop. So I'm lucky enough to have a 10-bay garage, and this is where I keep my personal projects. I have a 1930 Tudor. It was all original before I started taking it apart. Original drivetrain, everything. And over here I have my 39 Deluxe. First thought, it was my parts car. So I am using the engine and transmission out of it in my Model A. But more and more I look at it, more and more I like these cars. I'm still debating on taking the dash out of it or not and put it in my Model A. It looks a little crusty, but it's not rusted through. It's all surface rust. And the gauges are absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna walk around to the other side and see if I can show you. They're just dusty. They need to be cleaned up, but they're pretty. They're very pretty gauges. So there's the cluster, the speedo. So it's all usable. The dash is really pretty, not rusted out. So I think I'm gonna put that in the Model A. I think that'd look pretty sick. And here's my flathead. If you haven't seen it in any videos, I do pretty much a full teardown video of it. on my YouTube page, so you can check me out, Wired Customs. But it's almost all the way apart. It just has a cam in it. Then I put the bare block back on the frame, because for me, that's the easiest way to get all the head studs out. It's a lot of torching and a lot of pressure to get those out, so this is easier and safer to do it waist height here like this. So this was a running driving stock Model A until last week. Here is the 4-cylinder out of it. If you haven't pulled a 4-cylinder out of a Model A yet, straps I would recommend are your best bet. It's bone stock. I've rebuilt some parts of it. It was restored, I think, in the 70s or 80s, so it's an older restore, and I've just been maintaining it until now. Everything has pretty much been rebuilt. The transmission is beautiful in it. Everything runs great. My plan is, since it runs so good, I'm going to pick up a Model A frame and do a rail job vintage dragster, since I'm into the vintage dragsters hardcore. This has turned into a vintage dragster with the thanks of the drivetrain out of that. I have the drivetrain up against the wall right now over here. So here's the V8 rear axle, the juice brakes. I'm gonna split the wishbone, so I'm gonna do a how-to split the wishbone video here soon. So you get to check that out. I'm gonna be running the wide 5s, juice brakes, all the fun stuff right here. So I got pretty lucky with this car. This car is not rusted out. When I bought it, it was in high build primer, which it still is right now. It's got to come off because there's some little tiny rust issues with underneath the primer. So it tells me someone didn't do it right. They didn't do the right type of work. There's like a little bit of bubbled rust at the bottom of the door. It's splitting a little bit, nothing crazy. Then the cab mounts are rusted out right there a little bit. This one's been replaced, but it hasn't been replaced to my standard, so I'm gonna cut it out and do it the right way. Then, let's see if you can see it. I did the cab mounts in the back. So right there, if it focuses, that's my rear cab mount that I made. They were completely rusted out, nasty. Someone like arc welded this horrible plate on it, and I cut that out and did it the right way. Then this rear seat bracket was completely rusted out. So we cleaned that up, welded it up. You can't even tell where it was rusted out now. It all looks stock, kind of what I'm going for. It has all original wood in it, which is pretty nice. I've been making 1 or 2 pieces here that it needed. So replacing the T. You don't need to buy the $1,000 kits. You can make this stuff yourself. It's not that complicated. So right now I got the 39 trans bolted in, just ratchet straps holding it because I need to start figuring out my pedals, because for the moment I'm going to be run mechanical brakes. So I want the mechanical brakes to be hooked up and running because I just like my stuff running and driving as long as possible. I got 2 axles to rebuild and 4 brakes to rebuild, so I'm gonna stick the V8 in here. The V8's the first thing that's gonna get set up. V8 trans, since it bolts right up to the rear axle of the Model A, and just drive it with mechanical brakes until I have all the parts for all my juice brakes set up. So the shifter's sitting too low. I like my shifters about level with the top of the steering wheel. I just like the stuff to be fun. Then the 39 trans, it fits really nice in here. I'm just gonna make a K-member. I got some 14 gauge steel that's gonna look close to what a 32 K-member looks like. I'm gonna form it and shape it. So I do a video of how to on a K-member. So in order for me to do the K-member, I'm going to pull the whole body off the frame and fix a couple rust issues on the bottom part of the cab, nothing big. Here's the 39 donor car, which is not that bad, but it is still pretty crusty. All the glass is broken out of it, which is, it's whatever, it's all flat glass. It's not hard to fix or repair. But this car is not in too bad a shape. It needs floorboards, it needs trunk pan, all the usual things that a 39 needs. Door bottoms, as you can see, running boards. I don't like running stock running boards because they don't fit very good and they have a curve in them. I think that they need to be perfectly straight and kind of flush mounted on the front fender. So I don't care if they're in bad shape. The frame's not too bad, but of course I'm probably gonna be stripping the clutch and brake pedal out of it and using that. Haven't made up my mind yet, but you know how it goes. So hopefully this video wasn't too long. I like to talk, but that's what I got going on right now personally. I don't like to share customer stuff. Not everyone wants everyone in the world to know what they have in their garage, you know, so I respect that. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook and you don't know what the flat spot is, make sure you check them out. There's a Facebook page, it's a support page for everyone who has flatheads, flathead questions. You don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. It's a great way to get a good education on flatheads. And they also have a web page that gives you manuals, all the old manuals, all the old catalogs to ordering parts. A lot of good information on the website, so check that out too. Thanks for watching.
Wow, Zach, that was a great set of project there, and we really do look forward to seeing how your project sort of moves forward with your YouTube channel, which can be, which our viewers can see at Wired Customs LLC on YouTube. He does an absolutely wonderful job doing tutorial videos and kind of showing every different skill levels, how to do certain things. We've actually started adding some of his videos to the Flatspot website and hope to do kind of a regular series with him in the future. So again, thank you to the guys that submitted. If you sent in a video and you didn't see it in this episode, don't worry. We're probably going to end up using it in future episodes. This one just happened to be 3 cars that were kind of similar, which kind of gave it a nice theme throughout the video. So definitely don't worry. If you're thinking of submitting a walk around yourself, and I really do hope that you do, I will leave information in the description below of where to send that video. It needs to be emailed to us. If you have any problems emailing it, then just email us and let us know what's going on, and we can kind of walk you through trying to get the video to us. The other thing is, it doesn't matter if you have a flathead V8 or you have a 4-banger or you have a V12 or you have an Arden. If it is in the flathead family from Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury, we definitely want to see whatever that project is. Even if it's just a motor by itself, do a walk around and tell us why you're passionate about this hobby. The history, if it has cool history, tell us about it. Tell us how you got into the hobby in the first place. Let us know kind of why you're excited about being with the Flat Spot and being in this hobby, and why this project is kind of fueling your passion for this hobby. Other than that, remember to hit that subscribe button and like the video below. Next month, we're going to do another video, so definitely send those submissions in. We'll have another bunch of guys from the group to kind of show off to you guys. So again, thank you for supporting the Flat Spot. Thank you for watching this video. And if you have any comments or questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I really enjoy kind of getting feedback and talking to a lot of you guys. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you at the next Flat Spot Car Show.